Hey guys, Constance here from Cosmopolitan Cornbread. So yesterday was a very productive day. I got a lot of work done. I was out there working on some of the raised beds. Now the unfinished one that I had the posts in for and nothing else, that one that I had laid the soil down in to get it out of the back of my truck, I actually got that one completely finished yesterday, last night. Started to work on the other one that's in the front yard, except we completely ran out of light. We were putting away tools in the dark last night, and I'm glad that if I got nothing else done, that I did get the one finished, that I had the soil laying in the floor of it, and I'll show you why. It's pouring again. So much for only getting a little bit of rain. But I did get my big bed out here finished, and that was kind of the priority for yesterday. I actually thought it was supposed to rain yesterday, but it was sunny, it was gorgeous, and I was out here working all day. Well, all afternoon. Jack had a dentist appointment in the morning, wisdom tooth removal. But I got the first big one completed, and that was the priority one. And then I have another one down here. This is an 8-footer. I have the posts in for it, and I attached the boards on one side, but then I ran out of light, and that's just a landscaping timber sitting on the other side. I just set it there. But ran out of light, and so had to put everything on pause. And now, who knows? Who knows? You know, I had a couple people tell me, be patient, you know, don't worry about your garden. It's only February. And yes, I understand, but April will be here in no time, and April is when we do all of our major planting. But the month of March will fly through. Tomorrow is the 1st, and there's a lot of work to do. There's just a lot that needs to be done before April arrives, and honestly, I don't think it's all going to get done. These may be the only raised beds that we get built this year until fall. We'll probably build more in the fall, but I don't know if we're going to have the ability to put in the posts for them because of the concrete. With all the standing water, and there's so much water in the soil, it's hard to do concrete when you've got stuff like this. I'm not going to be too upset about it though, because homesteading is a process. Everything is a little bit here and there. It's, you know, you do what you can when you can with what you got. Hi babies. So something that I've been asked about is how do I start seeds? And so since the weather is not cooperating for me to do anything out here, I thought I would just take a minute and take you through the steps of how I do it. In a video that I posted a few days ago, at the very end of it, you could see me working with some soil and seed trays, and people were asking about what was I doing there. So let me explain. I started everything with a seed starter soil mix. Now I've used the pre-made stuff from the gardening supply store, and I also have made it myself. I think it's a little more economical to make it yourself. I have a video that I did a few weeks ago where I explained the process and what I put in it, and I have I have two different varieties of the seed mixture, the starter mixture, and that can be found in an article on my blog, cosmopolitancornbread.com, as well as the video where I was making that, and I will link that down below. And then secondly, I will take that seed starter soil, and I have used the little starter trays with the cells, and I've used little pots. There's a variety of different ways of doing it, and what I have been doing recently, and to me it's my favorite way of doing it, is using a soil blocker tool. And that is a tool that compacts the soil into little blocks that has a little space, a little indentation in the center of it for you to put the seed in. And because it compacts the soil into little blocks, you don't have to have anything else. You don't have to have cells or peat pots or anything like that to actually start your seeds. And so it gives you the ability to start a bunch of seeds, and anything that doesn't grow or doesn't germinate, you can just discard, reuse that soil for other things. And so you're not wasting anything, you're not having to buy anything, because you've already got the tool, and you can just keep using it over and over and over again. And I also have a video that explains how I use the seed blocking tool to create those seed blocks of soil, and I will link that down below as well. And for the next part, I'm gonna head into the house and show you what I do from there. Alright, so now I have moved into my bedroom, and at some point, hopefully this fall, you know, the project list keeps growing and things keep getting prioritized, and then other projects get moved back on the list. That's just the way it is. At some point I'm going to build a greenhouse, but until then I start all of my seeds indoors, and this is how I do it. So I have a shelving unit here, as you can see, and I set it up right in a south-facing window, which happens to be in my bedroom. So as you can see, I have some trays up here that I have started. These ones here have not yet germinated. I don't have anything popping up yet. This one is primarily all herbs. They usually take a little bit longer. This tray here is all peppers, and then this one over here is tomatoes. Now, peppers and tomatoes both need heat in order for those seeds to germinate. The herbs don't necessarily need any heat. They do tend to germinate without anything added to them. However, the peppers and tomatoes do need extra heat. Now, even though we're indoors and even though this is a south-facing window, there's really not enough heat for the peppers and tomatoes. And so because of that, underneath you can see I have a little heat mat. And this is just a warming mat made for seed trays. You place your seed tray on top of it, it warms the tray, and it helps those seeds germinate. Now, once they have germinated and you have little baby sprouts coming up out of the ground, that is when it goes to this situation right here. Now, as you can see, I have some sprouts here. This is mostly flowers in this tray. I'm giving a few of them a head start. Now, because I have these seedlings popping up, I have them placed underneath grow lights, and the grow lights are right just above the tops of these sprouts. You want them really, really close. And, you know, even though this is a south-facing window, it faces to the south, so it gets the most sun, it is not enough light for seedlings. One of the biggest mistakes with starting seeds indoors is not having enough light. You cannot just rely on a window, because what's going to happen is these seedlings are going to start reaching for the sun. They're going to start leaning towards that window, and what's going to happen is they'll start growing up and over in length much faster than they grow out and develop leaves. And when that happens, your seedlings will get long, they will get thin, and they will be weak. Often they are described as being leggy when they get that way. So you have to have a light source placed just above your seedlings. As you can see here, I actually have an empty seed tray underneath with stacks of magazines to lift this tray up and get it closer to the light, because you want your light source only a couple inches away from the seedlings. And so that is how I do that in here. Now once the seedlings get bigger and they start developing their true leaves and they start getting a little bit of size to them, I have a whole bunch of little plastic 4-inch nursery pots that I bought through Amazon a couple years ago. I use them over and over and over again. They were an initial investment, but they're fairly inexpensive, and I can just use them again and again. Another option is to use solo cups. Now the solo cup, as you purchase it, you can't really use it that way because there's no drainage and you run the risk of overwatering your plants. And so easy fix, take a stack of 10 to 12 cups, turn them upside down, take a drill some holes through the bottoms. You can do several cups at a time that way, and from that point forward you've got cheap, easy growing pots to start the rest of your plants in. So once these get bigger and they're ready to be transplanted into their own individual pots, that's what I'll do. And because these are blocks of soil, they come apart very, very easily. I have a video where I was transplanting some of my brassicas not too long ago, and you can see where those blocks of soil come apart super easy and they just go into the pot just like that. Once we get to that, of course, then it'll take up a little bit more space, and I have another south-facing window, and so then I will be adding my other shelving unit over there, and I will just have plants everywhere. So that's how I do all of my indoor starting with my seeds. And like I said, at some point I am going to build a greenhouse. I've got the designs for it. It's just a matter of it getting pushed up on the priority list. So I'm looking at probably this coming fall or winter. I hope that answers everybody's questions that I have gotten about starting the seeds, and if you have any other questions, please feel free to put them in the comments down below and I will address them. So that is it for today. Thanks for watching, you guys. My name is Constance, this is Cosmopolitan Cornbread, and until next time, love and blessings.